We have 33 days until sanity is restored to the White House. I look forward to working with President Trump and my colleagues to shut down the border, send illegals home, and restore safety and security to our nation.
All right, so Republican from Oklahoma, Kevin Hern, and other members of the GOP Border Security Caucus speaking earlier today in Washington with a preview of their efforts to help the Trump administration lock down the southern border. Here with us now is the Texas Democrat, Congressman Henry Cuellar. Welcome back, Congressman. What about this? They're talking about their efforts. How is this going to look early on in the Trump administration? What concerns maybe do you have right now?
Well, look, first of all, I live at the border. I don't just go visit the border. So it's important that we get input from people that actually live at the border. I've been working on this immigration issues, border security for so many years. I take a very tough stance on border security. I want to see law and order. All I ask is that my Republican friends sit down with some of us Democrats that know the border, and we have some very good ideas on how to secure the border and where the problems are at.
I know you've been, to your point, and I think the Republicans know this, as a Democrat, you've been someone willing to work with them on this issue. The Texas Tribune had an article saying that Trump's promise of mass deportations is throwing undocumented people in Texas into what they describe as fear and uncertainty. What would you describe the feeling among maybe constituents in your district you've talked to about this issue?
Well, certainly, there are some folks that have been here for a long time, or there might be dreamers that feel that DACA, that they might be deported. I certainly understand that, but I do understand that, I've been dealing with the Homeland Appropriations for, I guess, about 10 years, so I know the budget and what the limitations are. We should start off with criminals, national security folks, the 1.3 million final deportation orders that we have out there, and certainly some of the recent crossers. But if somebody's been here for 10 or 12 years, don't have a criminal record, we need to see how sort of impact that would have to the agriculture, construction, and other industries that we have in the
economic impact. Yeah, we've talked about that on the show. What's your thought on this whole issue of birthright citizenship that the president-elect has been talking about? The headline on that is that Trump is girding for battle with the Democrats and potentially the Supreme Court over birthright citizenship. Your thoughts on this?
Well, you have to start out with the 14th Amendment of the Constitution that says that if you're born here, you're a U.S. citizen. And, of course, the second way that you can become a U.S. citizen if one of your parents is a U.S. citizen. I think what he's focusing on is undocumented persons that come over to the U.S. and have a baby, and that's a different type of nuance. But, we got to,
What's your view on what should happen to those people?
Well, my thing is you have the 14th Amendment that says if you're born here, you're a U.S. citizen. But I think if we have strong border security and don't allow people that are not supposed to be coming in, I think that issue will be addressed.
Okay. Big picture, as I said, you're a Democrat, has been known for working with Democrats and Republicans on immigration over the years. You represent Texas, and that's your reputation. What do you think of the party and whether, I guess the larger question, we had this conversation earlier in the week, Jay Johnson was on, the former Homeland Security Secretary under Obama, and the question was, where did the Democrats go wrong on this issue of immigration? And here's part of what he said. Listen.
In reaction to the Trump presidency, I'm afraid that a number of Democrats swung really far left to the point where a lot of people believe you can and should decriminalize border crossings.
Yeah, I was thinking of the term.
You can't decriminalize border crossings because that sends the message to Central America, everyone can come.
What about your thoughts as a Democrat on those comments, Congressman?
I'll start off. I'm a big fan of Secretary Jay Johnson. He and I work together, and I think he's right. Look, there's a pendulum. You can't go too much to the far right or too much to the far left, and I think what a lot of Democrats did is, they wanted to decriminalize crossings. It's a misdemeanor the first time, then it's felony after that. And you just can't say that, send the message that the border is open, because otherwise you're going to have the biggest amount of people that are going to come in, like we saw the last 3 years. And we know that immigration judges will reject 88 to 90% of those people, but we allowed so many people in. So again, we got to find a happy
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.